The combination of things um, was pretty extraordinary, and it just worked. As you know, that there are things that you have to do, and this is true of any speaker, and the things you learn and the things that, say, the Bach allows you to learn on the fly are just shocking. And so Michael had a combination in there that was ideally suited. There were some ASC tube traps and also, of course, the VAC amplifiers, which were very nice in the box. So that whole setup was really well curated to begin with, but it sounded great right out of the box. I mean, without doing anything at all, which for a planar speaker in a small room was kind of shocking to me. And as you mentioned, I owned for a little very short period of time, I owned a pair of Diptyque 160s, and I was very excited about them and all that. And it just didn't work out. The bass range had some resonances in it that I didn't think were acceptable in a speaker that cost that much money, especially. And they also weren't very friendly to ORC. ORC tried to make them work even harder, and they just couldn't do it. So they went back. I've owned, gosh, I had original Martin Logan CLSs. So I go back to the old school, and I've had just a variety of Martin Logans, and I had Magnepans for 3.6s for 5 years or so. So I've had a lot of planers. And again, the reaction was right out of the box. Those things kicked butt. They had great bass. They weren't afraid of any of it. What you threw at it, that sort of thing. They were very responsive to tuning with ORC and the Bach. Didn't take a lot, but it needed it. I mean, you needed to use it just to get the best out of it, I thought. But standing by themselves, they would hold their own with anything. The one thing I mentioned to Michael earlier, I was chatting with him, is that they get really right that some of the planers and especially the electrostatics, at least maybe it's a mental thing, but they sound kind of plasticky, if you will, at times, or it's just a weird feeling. And you think you're not going to get that rich tone sound. And these did that in spades. I mean, they had just a wonderful, full, uh, great sound to them. I think some of that certainly is exposing they're able to expose what the VAC amps are doing. So it was a really good combination. So anyway, overall, I was quite floored by them. I think in the price range, that's tough to even get close to at 34 and change.